today we're going to look at Halo Infinite specs. We're going to compare it versus the free big games issue, which is Halo Infinite Cell, obviously, COD Vanguard, and the Battlefield 2042. The sad part is I almost finished recording this, and guess what I did? I literally put my mouse over the Celsius thing. It just explodes where I live. Yeah, I don't know why Google has this. Is the most stupidest thing anyway, but it's super annoying. But anyway, let's look at specs. So we're gonna look at the minimum specs first. In fact, no. We'll tell you what my performance was in the tech preview. Now, they did say there's going to be a 20% increased performance, and 900 series cards are going to perform better. Someone said, one of the FIFA free employees said it somewhere on Twitter. So it's there, and everybody knows about it. But anyway, just telling you all that in advance. So I'll tell you what my performance was in tech preview. So I've got an RTX 3090 Ryzen 950 950. I got the best CPU and the best GPU you can get in the market right now. Well, in some cases, yeah, especially the CPU, right? Like 32 gigs of RAM, right? These very fast RAM speed. Speed 4 channel, whatever the heck, dual channel times 2 channel. I don't know what that's called for 32 gigs, right? SSD's got everything super fast. Right, so I played tech preview, mostly 1080p and 4K, right? So I'll tell you about the 1080p first performance. So 1080p performance when I only had one monitor turned on, yes, this performance actually was massive. If you were using one monitor now, I didn't use 3 monitors, so if anyone did use 3 monitors, can you let me know down in the comments? Did the performance even get worse when you used 3 monitors? When I was using one monitor, I only got 100 FPS, which is super disappointing. Like a 20% increased performance, that is barely anything. Seriously. Right? But when I had 2 monitors on, the FPS went down to 80. Seriously. Alright. Now I'll tell you about the 4K performance. The one monitor, yeah, I don't know why the performance got so bad. Like, you only meant to get like a 5% decrease in FPS, absolute max if you have multi-monitor was on, not a freaking 20% discount. Yeah, 20% decrease. Anyway, 4K. So 4K, have one monitor on, you get about 60 FPS, which is very disappointing. However, if you had 2 monitors on at 4K with the best CPU can get in the market right now, you got under. I got 50 FPS. Seriously. Now, yes, they did say 20% increased performance, but that's only so much. That's only like 60 FPS, maybe 55. Seriously? So the performance was freaking terrible from my end. It was playable. When this was at max graphics, I should be getting better performance. The game doesn't have DLSS or ray tracing, and I could get 2K performance because this was before I had my 2K monitor. But anyway, so if this game has ray tracing, you're getting below 30 FPS now. I believe the minimum specs are at 1080 lowest settings, but I could be wrong about that because the Xbox One, the Xbox S, and I think the Xbox One X only play 30 FPS, and they have render scaling, which I think goes down to 550p, which is pretty bad. But the next gen consoles played at 120 FPS, no problem. Yes, even the Series X, which actually performed the best somehow, which is kind of weird. But they got pretty much 4K or 1080, right? Pretty much. Well, I'm sure they did get render scaled, but they weren't that bad. Anyway, let's talk about the minimum specs. So, we all know the RAM's 8 and 16. I think everyone knows that. Windows 10, that's default. So then when they'll have to update Windows 11. DirectX 12. I mean, you kind of expect that from the game. So it might be a DirectX 11 mode. Who knows? Well, maybe that's. I don't know if that's going to be a feature. It might be. It might not be. I can't tell you. Anyway, processors are not bad for minimum. I would say ADM FX 8370 or Intel i5 4440. These are pretty old CPUs. I think they came in like 2013, 2014. So the minimum makes sense, right, for the processor. However, the graphics cards is a little bit more demanding. You need an ADM RX 570 or NVIDIA GTX 1050 Ti, which is once again not terrible. And it's kind of what I would expect. Minimum performance is not terrible. It's the recommended performance we look at. But I want to look at its competition first. So let's look at, we'll do the COD first, right? It's called COD can want anything. So you need a NVIDIA GTX 270Gs. Fucking hell, man. If it was that way, you could run anything on it. 760 Ti ADM Radeon HD $795.50, right? Which is good. Pretty much any graphics card should be able to play this game. Unless you, even a 600 series graphics card should be able to play this game pretty easily if you've got good 600 series cards. Though I would not recommend playing at 6 or 700 series cards, just because the way Warzone runs now on 600 series, 700 series cards run pretty horrible. Anyway, minimum i3 6300 ADM FX 8300. We pretty much anything can run that. Call of Duty, anything can always run Call of Duty minimum specs. Now, if we look at the recommended on Battlefield, which is pretty much the same as Halo, GTX 1050 Ti ADM Radeon RX 560, you actually can get away with a weaker Radeon. Now, I assume this is 60 FPS low at both games. However, it did require, I think that's actually the exact same, to be honest. Let's go check. No, it's actually more demanding. You actually need you need a better CPU if you want to play this game at minimum, which is interesting. If you need an i5 66K or ADM FX 8350, which is whatever. Alright, now let's go back to Halo Infinite's recommended specs, which is extremely demanding compared to its competition. So, yeah, OS Windows 10, right? Everyone knows that. ADM Ryzen 7 3700X or Intel i7 97K, which are pretty new CPUs. Honestly, that's only ADM. That's ADM's last gen CPU. That's like Intel's 2 gen CPUs, and I mean it's technically Intel's last gen CPU as well, because 11 gen was such a disappointment that most people didn't buy 11 gen CPUs because they were even a downgrade from 10 gen Intel CPUs. Well, especially for the high end. I'm not sure about the 7 memory 16 gigs. I think that's default nowadays. If you don't have 16 gigs of dual channel RAM, I don't know what you're doing to yourself. Anyway, Radeon RX or 8 gigs of dual channel RAM at minimum. I always use dual channel, guys. Even quad channel, to be honest, if you have motherboards aboard it. Anyway, graphics card. Now the graphics cards are extremely demanding in here. When if you need a Radeon RX 57XT or Nvidia RTX 270, yes, yeah, that is their last gen GPUs, and they're extremely scalped and pretty much impossible to get these GPUs. I think the MSR for both these cards are maybe like 500, right, US dollars, right? Maybe even less now because like a 270 Super and that stuff as well, plus the last gen. For these cards, oh shit, no, that's stupid. Some banging in the background, jeez. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, that last gen, the scalp price. These cards should cost like 300 now, seriously, £300, right? Maybe even less now, but they don't. They cost like almost 1,000. It's ridiculous. Or 800, I think. They're like $800 or something like that. I haven't checked the numbers, but they're ridiculously high. And yeah, like, this is crazy compared to its competition. No one can get these cards. So hardly anyone's can play in this game, and I think this is only 1080p high settings. I could be wrong, it might be 1440p high settings. I doubt it. 4K, you will not get that performance of the cards. Sorry. Not now. Alright, let's look at the recommended. We'll start with quad, right? Squad's easy, pretty much easy to run anyway. For you need GTX 980 Ti, which is quite an old card now. That came back 2016 or 15, I think. Yeah, but it came out later. It's like 1080 Ti. I'm not sure. Or Radeon R9 3090, which I'm surprised that card they're recommending that card because they've stopped updating ADM stuff. That card might not work, by the way, guys. Just to warn you. With World War II Vanguard, that card might not work. You might need 400 series cards, by the way. Yeah, you might actually need 400 series cards because support's ended for the 300 series, unfortunately. Anyway, recommended, right? This is potato, right? Lovely. An i5 3400 or first gen Ryzen 5. Pretty easy. You only need 12 gigs of RAM as well, which is nothing. Alright, let's look at EA. So EA is a bit more competing, right? A little bit more competing. For you need an RTX 260 on ADM Radeon RX 5600 XT. Now that is still demanding, right? But that is a generation below, like, not generation below, but I think these are like 6 gig RAM cards. Now these are still really stupidly overpriced. You won't be able to get these cards either. Well, I don't know about this card. But this card's overpriced. You can get this card costs like 500, which is ludicrous. And by the way, I'd recommend getting a card, by the way, if you want to play Battlefield effectively. Just say. So probably 1080. You need a 1080 last gen before that, or yeah. Anyway, however, you look at the CPU, right? The CPU, right? So I'm just gonna take this up. I'm just gonna take this up a little bit. And I'm just gonna show you the biasness of EA. Yeah, we talk about EA biasness, like EA, and like EA. I can tell what EA to look up for the specs, by the way. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at what comes up. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that biasness, right? So if we compare it to the card that's actually meant to be compared. Right, those are the benchmark, right? But look at that. That demolishes that card by quite a bit, right? Right, this is actual performance. That demolishes it pretty much every category, even in FPS and games, right? There'll be videos, YouTube somewhere out there if you don't believe me. Yes, here's YouTube's video, right? But if we compare it to its actual competition, its actual win comparison card, which I think is a 7. I don't remember the name of it. 7K. Oh, there we go. Right, look at this. So, wow, they say they're the exact same performance. I'm surprised, considering how biased the website is. Well, they actually say that's better performance. Wow, user benchmarks who actually did an accurate result. Never mind. Okay, I'll give user benchmarks some praise for once. They actually did a not bad result for once in their lives. Anyway, so I don't know why it says that. I don't know why it says it. I think it's because the i7-44 barely got an improvement to the 7th generation. I don't know why they recommend that. It should be an i7-77. I'd probably get an i7 just to be on the safe side. If you can, obviously. CPU that one should be pretty cheap, to be honest, man. Yeah, but still, that's not terrible. Especially if you pick Intel side, you could probably get away with an i5 9th gen, I would imagine, pretty easily as well. That's a little bit high, but whatever. I expect that. These are not bad. These are sort of budget CPUs, but compared to the other competition, geez, compared to Halo Infinite. Remember, Halo Infinite is free to play. Halo Infinite is a free to play game. These other two games cost money. Now, I can't guarantee Call of Duty's performance. I would not play Call of Duty's performance even on the minimum nowadays. Because if it's like Warzone, they pretty much make the game unplayable on 600 and 700 GT cards. So I would say you probably get 900 cards to be honest to play in the Call of Duty, unfortunately, at the minimum as well. I would say that just to be the safe side, to say that stuff with 700 cards, but if you're taking a risk, it's probably not worth taking. But anyway, I just wanted to look at the specs, compare the specs to each game. Infinite specs are crazy demanding. Halo Infinite, I think, is one of the first few games I was like, alright, you need 8 cores and you need 6 threads if you want to get proper performance in this game. The game is super CPU intense and GPU intensive, which is kind of good in a way, I guess, and bad in a way. I mean, it's good because it doesn't mean you have to have one much stronger component than another. They're kind of equal. But still, is it really a good argument? But anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know in the comments. Do you think these specs are far too high for the recommended specs, especially against its competition? Like, I think even Cyberpunk 2077 has last competition. Now, in fact, no, I want to explain something real quick before I finish this. So, Black Ops 4, right? I'm going to look at with ray tracing performance now. I don't have it up, however, I do remember, right? So, if you want ray tracing performance, max 60 FPS at 4K, right? Being an RTX 38, which makes sense, right? With ray tracing, right? You only need like a Ryzen 7. That Ryzen 7's 37K or i9 9900K, right? Which is pretty low. But that's it, ray tracing max settings. But I want to give it 60 FPS. But look at this. This is only 1080p. It's only like 1080p max. You might get away with 1440p, but you will not get. I highly doubt you'll get 60 FPS. You You might run out of VRAM, to be honest. The 4K nowadays, that 8 gig card. That's going to happen in like a year or two, I'd imagine. Anyway, I'm talking for far too long. So let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.